Welcome to third standard science class study session. Today we are going to learn about animals' life. In this heading, we learn today the food chain and food web. Let us go into the session.
In this session, we are going to learn animals' life. In this heading, we learn about food chain and food web part 2 video. First, we are going to learn about food chain in detail. In this picture, you see the food chain of a living organism. A food chain represents a series of events and consumption in which food and energy are consumed from one organism in an ecosystem to another. Food chains show how energy is passed from the sun to producer, which refer to plants, from plants to consumers, and from consumers to decomposers such as fungi. When you look around you, you can see the following. The grass is food for deer, and deer is a food for tiger. Plants are food for grasshoppers, and grasshoppers are food for birds. From these examples, we observe that plants are food for many animals, which in turn become food for another animals. Let us look at the pictures given here. Here you saw the three things. The first one is a grass, the second one is a deer, the third one is a tiger. This is a food chain. It gives us information on how living things are related with one another by the food they eat. Here, the grass is eaten by a deer, the deer is eaten by the tiger. So what's a food chain? A food chain usually starts with plants and end with carnivores or omnivores. In the food chain, the organism that eat the primary producers, which means plants, are called primary consumers. Primary consumers are usually herbivores, that is the plant eaters. Though they may be algae eaters or bacteria eaters. What is the importance of food chain? Food chain are important because they show the intricate relationship in ecosystem. They can reveal how each organism depends on someone else for survival. Food chains also display what happens when a problem occurs and a producer or consumer is lost. Entire communities can collapse. Here you saw some more examples for food chain. Leaves, caterpillar, hen and hawk. The second one, grass, grasshopper, rat and owl. The first food chain which shows us leaves are eaten by a caterpillar. Caterpillar is eaten by the hen. The hen is eaten by a hawk. The second one you see, grass is eaten by the grasshopper. The grasshopper is eaten by a rat. Then the rat is eaten by an owl. Simply we have to define the term food chain describes the order in which organisms or living things depend on each other for food. Every ecosystem or community of living things has one or more food chains. Most food chains start with organisms that make their food, such as plants. Scientists call them producers. What is the most important part of a food chain? Decomposers break down dead plants and animals. They also break down the waste of other organisms. They are an important element in the food chain because they keep up the continuous flow of nutrients for primary producer, which means plants. Next, we are going to learn about food web in detail. Every organism can feed on different kinds of food. So, a single organism will be a part of many food chains. These food chains are interconnected to form a web. Hence, a food web is the interconnection of multiple food chains. Transfer of energy between organisms of different energy sources occurs through food web. So, a food web shows the transfer of energy within an ecosystem. Energy is transferred between organisms when one organism eats another. In simple words, we say that a food web is a group of food chains within an ecosystem. Most living things eat more than one type of animals or plants. So, their food chains overlap and connect. For example, the hawk that ate the squirrel also maybe eat fish. This makes the hawk as a part of two food chains or a food web. What is food chain example? A food chain only follows just one path of animals find food. Example, a hawk ate a snake, which has eaten a frog, which has eaten a grasshopper, which has eaten grass. A food web shows the many different paths plants and animals are connected. Example, a hawk might also eat a mouse, a squirrel, a frog, or some other animals. This is only the difference between a food chain and food web.
I hope you got clear information about food chain and food web. Thank you, students. Have a nice day.